So when you have a right tech stack, you're able to. It's like I like to say it's like driving a Ferrari, right? Like you're when you're buying leads, you're driving, but when you're driving a Ferrari, you're able to do things. You're able to go fast. You're able to get things done quickly and rev up.
My experience is generally like if they're not fully on board with technology, if they're not running full steam ahead, like the ones that you were talking about, where they have the technology, they have all the sales tools in place, the tech stack with the marketing, it's either that or they're somewhere at the other extreme, which may be just spreadsheets, right? And things like spreadsheets, maybe they have a CRM, maybe they don't, maybe they have a phone system, maybe they don't. Last time I saw you at a conference pre-COVID, I met somebody who they were doing a lot of revenue per year for a roofing company on spreadsheets. And
I like to give those people hugs and just like, hey man, like God bless you. You're working hard with that Google sheet or spreadsheet or Excel. There's a lot of companies that do that, and I would say it's becoming more rare to come across a very successful firm that's working off of spreadsheets. I'll take my family's business. My family owns a roofing company in Los Angeles, so I have some construction background. I've sold roofing, both residential and commercial. I worked for several large solar companies selling residential and small commercial solar, so I know what it's like to be at the kitchen table. There comes a point in your lead gen ecosystem where you cannot manage effectively the data that you're bringing in. Most of the time, the main goal, obviously always the goal, is to get appointments and sales. So a lot of buyers who work for companies take on this perception that, hey, as long as I'm out there buying leads and getting them into my system and the dialing team or the call center's dialing, I've done my job. That doesn't allow you, that thought process doesn't allow you to really optimize, to manage, to drive down cost of acquisition, to scale affordably and safely. You're basically up in the air and you're able to kind of get there. And so what I see is companies who are doing anywhere between 20 to 40, 50 sales, maybe can operate on a spreadsheet. And it's tough, and they have somebody full-time kind of working and not really focusing on the larger problems, but just getting stuff in. Once you hit that number of 1,000 leads or 20, 30, 40 sales, it gets to the point where you need to have tools to help you with the reporting, to help you onboard lead vendors faster, to help test those vendors quickly, and to ultimately get those leads into your system and scale in an optimal time, right? Like a couple of minutes, an hour, rather than what some of maybe the listeners out there maybe spend days or weeks trying to get a lead vendor and their leads into your system. It shouldn't be that difficult. So when you have a right tech stack, you're able to. It's like I like to say it's like driving a Ferrari, right? Like you're when you're buying leads, you're driving, but when you're driving a Ferrari, you're able to do things. You're able to go fast. You're able to get things done quickly and rev up. And that's what our technology, along with all of our marketplace partners, help do for a lot of the buyers that are out there, a lot of the brands that are out there, all the way from Empire Today, Terminex, some of the manufacturers out there that we work with are SunPower, American Standard on the bathroom remodel side. And whether you're a very large manufacturer or brand, like the ones I mentioned, or you're like my family's roofing company, you can really have a lot more success and time to really focus in on optimizing rather than just the process of buying, getting leads somewhere and calling. So that's really where we come in for those brands or those organizations who are like, hey, I'm really looking for the next level of sophistication, protection, and abilities.
So The big thing that I see, and I know to be true, is that if an organization is operating off of spreadsheets, right? And if there's anyone out there listening or watching this, like we've seen it, you've seen it, I've seen it, and we know that it's possible to make that transition, but I also know that that feels overwhelming, right? In this day and age, if you're still using spreadsheets, unless you just started, it's the leap into a tech stack just feels like this giant thing, and you don't have an IT team or you don't have a staff for that, and you don't know where to start and what to do. Like what, and outside of active prospects, because I don't know if that's the first place to start, it might be, what do you see as that recommendation to help someone like go from crawling to walking to running towards the Ferrari, right? Like if they're on spreadsheets, like what would you suggest, like the next tools for them to get in
no, I always get asked that. I think we're certainly at a point with our technology, lead management, where there's a few things you definitely need to have before you work with active prospect. Number one is an endpoint or a CRM, or what people call lead management systems, basically where you're putting all your data. So kind of getting off spreadsheets and putting all your leads into a central system for your sales reps, for your customer service team, for even your operations team to work those consumers, those humans, those people. The next piece that you should have right connected to that is an automated dialer or a dialing system, whether you have 3 or 4 people, or whether you have 150 seats. Having that CRM or that database along with your dialer will propel you to the next level of lead acquisition, customer acquisition, right? Because nobody really cares about leads. What we care about is customers. So those two pieces are fundamental. We've seen people adopt our software and maybe not necessarily have those pieces. And I'm talking on the buyer side. And it just doesn't work. You need to have those two pieces there. And then once you have those two pieces there and you're growing and you're like, wow, I'm getting more out of this, then it's time to go, okay, how do I optimize my process? And that's where we fit in, right? Like we're right there in the middle between all your sources and where you're generating and your CRM and dialer. And so what we do is we help, once again, like a data highway, or I'll use another analogy, air traffic control, where you have all these leads coming in and they're landing on the same strip. With us, you're able to really have an air traffic control, have a hub where you can direct traffic and you can say, you can land now. You know what, you can't land here. You're gonna need to go back, and really start to direct the traffic of all your sources and all your partners so that you purchase the best quality lead data with your marketing budget. So those are the 3 pieces. And then on top of that, once you have those 3 pieces, which once again are a CRM, a dialer, and a lead management tool, the other pieces that I see are on down funnel, on the delivery. So companies who have those 3 pieces in place are now optimizing their outreach with omni-channel strategies, where once the lead hits, because now it's automated in real time and they're calling, now they're doing text messages at the same time with a photo. Now they're emailing simultaneously. So now the homeowner or the consumer is now getting brand awareness or a contact through methods that they want. And some people will never answer their phone, but they'll certainly respond to an SMS or text. Others are like, hey, I'm too busy. I get to my emails at 8 o'clock at night and that's when I'm gonna answer. So really serving up an outreach approach that gives the consumer the ability to accept your outreach in the terms that they want to.